On today's DNVR Broncos podcast, we're breaking down the new details of PJ Locke's crazy offseason surgery that he had and how it impacts the Broncos, moves they've made and moves they might make in the future. Plus, we're breaking down the Broncos Commanders game, primetime, Bo Nix versus Jayden Daniels, and it all starts now. PJ Locke quietly broke significant news right before the 4th of July weekend, and we have the details and are going to break it down on the DNVR Broncos podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores. And we are the DNVR Broncos podcast. Ryan Koenigsberg, Henry Chisholm, we got Alyssa, Logan, and maybe even Dion behind the camera today. And Zach Stevens rocking and rolling with you today. Fellas, how was the 4th of July?
It was amazing. Got to go up and see our guy Joey, aka Nashville Bronco.
Love that.
He was shredding the drums for Scotty McCreery as always. So we went up to the Greeley Stampede for that. That was really cool. And then remember last weekend I said that I shot my best round of golf of the year.
Yep.
That weekend. One-upped it this weekend.
Wow.
Fired a little 74 in a tournament yesterday.
Woo.
So yeah, I mean I can't ask for much more.
Did it place you anywhere?
Third.
Pretty good.
Third net.
It's on the podium.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like tied for 5th gross. Third net.
Third net means like after handicap?
Yep.
Is that what it is? Congratulations.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
You come away with a new Toyota or anything?
No, I made like $100 though.
There you go. That'll do. Making money to play golf. That's where you always want to be.
I know. I was like, man, once I, add in all the drinks that I bought and everything, I think I only, I won like $5. I'm like, maybe I should quit my job.
Yeah.
Do this professionally.
It's a good deal.
Well, if you're not here tomorrow, we'll know what you're doing. You've retired to play golf.
Well, I won't be here tomorrow.
Well, that's exactly why I said that. I was giving you the option of just saying you're retiring to play golf.
Yep, exactly. Taking it on full time. See what happens.
This, crazy enough, really quick, Henry, this is the last show the three of us are doing together before training camp. The next time you see the three of us together, it's going to be camp.
Yeah, this is usually the football media travel frenzy.
Yep, exactly. And we're living up to it. Henry, how was your weekend?
It's good. I was in Minnesota, so I didn't realize they have so many mosquitoes there.
Could have told you that. A lot of
the
standing
lakes,
water
yeah.
in those lakes.
That's like, yeah, it turns out. But yeah, so my legs are itchy and bumpy, and so that part of it, I'm not happy about it all.
You're always focusing on the negatives, man.
Well, but that's
You're like,
the
I went
thing.
to RK's wedding, had to get a shot of steroids in my ass, though. I went
There was-
to Minnesota, got bit by a bunch of
It was kind of the storyline though, because I hadn't been bit by a mosquito in probably 2-3 years.
What?
Probably 3 years.
Wow.
Bro.
Where are you getting bit by mosquitoes in Colorado?
There's mosquitoes in Denver.
Often on the golf course.
Some people believe,
I don't
though,
golf very
kind
much.
of like Henry, I heard over the weekend, some people believe there's no mosquitoes in Denver, which is
Yeah.
simply not true. There's definitely mosquitoes.
Like-
There are few, but they are there.
They are there.
Yeah.
Then you go out to Minnesota, it's just everywhere. So yeah, I don't even remember how long these last. Like if it's just gonna be like tomorrow they're gone, or if it's like 3 weeks they're gone.
No, it'll be within the week.
Within the week?
Yeah.
If they
good to know.
itch, dig with your fingernail and X into them. It works for me. It works for me. It makes it
Wow.
stop itching. You got to do it hard enough.
I've heard like frozen spoon, and then you like press it really hard on there. I haven't
yeah.
tried that one. None of them
I
actually
don't have
really
any
work.
frozen spoons on me.
Do you have do you have a spoon at your house?
Yes.
Do you have a
Freezer?
freezer?
Yes.
Boom.
You're
You
on
can
the
make
right
it
track.
happen.
I could. Oh, Lexi would be so mad if she got home and all of our spoons are in the freezer.
You just
You
need
just do one.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean,
Well, but I thought,
he
like,
puts
but-
all his silverware in there.
But then you use it and it's gonna warm up.
yeah,
So
it's
you'd
true.
wanna-
So maybe you need like 4.
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It'd be so fun.
Or you're just using forks for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. That reminds me,
Spoons are pretty rare usage anyway.
a couple weeks ago, we have those little Raising Cane's baseballs, which are awesome. They're the best baseballs.
They are great.
And for like 3 days, I was just putting one in Dre's office every day. And then I stopped. But it would have been a lot of fun to keep going.
Yeah.
you filled
Speaking of
looking
those,
up.
I also had my godson's second birthday party this week.
Wow.
I swear he's like going to the MLB.
Why
At
the
2,
MLB?
he's already just, those Raisin Canes baseballs are getting rocked.
Wow.
Like, just absolute bombs.
So you're going into professional golf.
Yeah.
He's going into the MLB. It's a pretty good sports family you got set up.
Yeah. I mean, he's not my son, but
It's part Godson's part
Yeah.
of the family.
definitely part of the
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't get my lineage.
Well, why aren't you in the MLB then?
Have you seen those TikToks where the girlfriend is like, Zach, do you ever wish you were athletic?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The reaction is like, what do you mean? I am athletic.
I saw one where the guy was like, "If I was any more athletic, I'd be in the NFL." those are really good. Speaking of being very athletic, before we dive into the PJ Locke stuff, congratulations to Zac Allen on being number 90 on the NFL top 100 list. Ryan, I know this list means a lot to you.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most prestigious, important, and well thought out list in all of sports.
Yeah. It's so this is quite an honor, huh?
Just kidding. It's actually the dumbest thing of all time. And
You want to tell the people why?
because these people come into the locker room one day and they hand out all these sheets to the players, and the players are like, cool, and then they crumple it up and they throw it in the trash. And 3 or 4 players are like, okay, all right, who are my top 20 players in the NFL? Like, oh, PJ Locke,
Bo.
Tyler Beatty, Bidet.
Yeah.
It's
Same
changed so
spelling
many
though.
times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bo Nix,
Yeah,
Cortland
yeah.
Sutton,
Yeah.
Pat Surtain, and then
Well, Patrick
We
Mahomes,
use-
of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
Then we use all of that to compile a list that everyone cares about.
Yep.
Last year there was one who had, I think it was 6 names on the list, and the nice lady just kept saying, "I'm sure you can think of another. Like, I'm sure you can think of another player. Just think of any player." It's like, I don't know. I think I'm kind of out. It's like, well, let's name some quarterbacks. It's like, oh, Joe Burrow, and it's like, oh, that's how these get filled out.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's exactly how they get filled out. However, I think, Ryan, we kind of we were the ones to start exposing this years ago when it came
Yeah.
out because the NFL made a big deal. And it really blew up. And it was a big deal to be on that list, to not be on that list, where you were. Now it's like, I didn't even know it was happening until Zac Allen's name was dropped this morning that he was number 90. So I think people kind of realize that it doesn't mean that much anymore. The NFL still tried to make a big deal of it because it's their list.
Yeah, I think Von Miller got like top 5 one time.
Yep.
And I feel like it peaked then, like how much we cared about it.
Yeah.
And it's been downhill ever from there.
Well, that's
It's very
good.
similar to like the All-Star votes or like Pro Bowl votes, because it's similar to just the fans saying like, yeah, I like this guy, and it could be for whatever reason. It could be because like you just like the team. It could be because he was good 3 years ago when you paid more attention.
Do you guys remember when the All-Star ballots were actual ballots that you had to fill out? Not just like a thing on your phone?
No.
And you sent it in.
Like,
You would
like
do it
mailed it?
at the game. So like when you showed up
Oh.
to like a Rockies game, they'd be like, oh, could you like fill out a All-Star ballot? And they kind of had like perforated things. You could just like poke out the ones that you wanted.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
old school.
It is old.
You're old,
Dating
man.
myself for sure.
Yeah.
Then the Nuggets would have like ballot stuffing parties where if you came and did like 100 and picked all the Nuggets, then they would give you free tickets. So I used to do that all the time.
Was that before Melo and before like people were going to the games?
It would have been, no, I was in college.
Okay.
So yeah, I would have, yeah, maybe I wasn't in college. Maybe I was in high school. Probably high school.
Because back in
So
the
it would have been like 2010-ish.
Okay, yeah, not too long ago.
Yeah.
Before
pretty
Melo,
long ago.
yeah, that's true. Before Melo got to Denver, my mom's a teacher, and the Nuggets would give out free tickets to teachers, pretty much like any game you wanted to go, because they just couldn't get people in. Right when Melo was there, free ticket stopped. Yes, some people saying Mile High Sing says that Zac Allen had a season where he should have been first team All Pro, and so at 90 he's very underrated. And that's probably right. It's going to be interesting to see where other Broncos fall. And
Make
then,
your call right now, PS2.
so remember, this voting happens in the middle of
last
the
year.
season, so people didn't know he was a Defensive Player of the Year. So it's going to be lower than Broncos Country wants. I'll go 17. Is where he falls, not
He
where
should be top 5.
Yes, I agree.
I'm gonna say he goes 23.
Okay.
Say 13.
Okay. Let's see, Henry. I hope you're right, or I hope you're closest to being right there. And let's transition to some crazy news that dropped right before the holiday weekend. PJ Locke announced via a really well put together YouTube video that he had back surgery this offseason right after the season ended. He had a spinal transfusion or fusion, a spinal fusion between the 3 and 4 vertebrae. And essentially, it was a very intense surgery where the doctor had to go in, fix that, but then do it a different way because the nerve was so bad on one side. And it was, according to PJ Locke, he would be potentially the first player in NFL history to come back and play with this sort of injury. So the magnitude of this can't be understated. This is a very, very big deal, and no one knew about it outside of the organization publicly until PJ announced it just last week.
It's a lot to unpack.
Yes. I'm pretty sure Levi Onwuzurike had it, is the first note. I think he had the fusion. Who? Levi Onwuzurike. He was the Pac-12 UCLA defensive lineman who got all the money, still with the Cowboys, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah. Wow, I haven't thought about him in a while. But yeah,
When did he get it?
2022, missed the entire season. Got it done in October of 2022.
Okay.
And I believe was back 2023.
So it has been done
Once. Yes. And so he was like the vertebrae right above. But I guess the thing was, it's like you got the disc between the vertebrae, and that's like the padding. But then his disc was gone, and so the vertebrae were just hitting each other, which is really, really painful because it's just the bone hitting the bone. And so they just fused the vertebrae so that now it's just one vertebrae.
Oh.
I think Tiger had something similar too. Not the exact same thing, but
maybe it's to the extent of which the surgery was, because that's what happened, but there were more complications when they went in, and I have the details of that. And I'll give you those after I give a shout out to our friends over at Game Time, where if you're going to go to a Rockies game, let's say you're going to fill out your ballots in person, you can get your tickets. Actually, you should get your tickets over at Game Time. I'm looking at potentially going to a couple of college games this year, and I started looking at tickets over the weekend. And of course, you pull up Game Time. I bought concert tickets over the weekend for in the fall. I went to Game Time. There's no other question of where you go to get concert tickets, to get college tickets, to get NFL, MLB, anything you want, including like FIFA, the World Cup games this past weekend, where Game Time was the best place to go and buy those tickets. So if you need tickets for anything, your significant other needs tickets for something, you're buying a gift for someone, use Game Time, because not only is it the best place to go, but if you use the code DNVR, you're going to get $20 off when you download the Game Time app right away on your first purchase. $20 off over at Game Time. Make sure to download the app and use that code DNVR for any tickets, NHL, MLB, NFL, college, and of course concerts as well. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
And Empire Today. We love Empire Today. They do all sorts of flooring stuff. I mean, I've only rented, so I've never gotten to pick out my own floor. But I have wondered what I would pick out if I did get the choice of my own floor. I guess back when I was in like high school, or no, junior high, I got to pick out carpet. And I think it was, I got orange carpet.
Wow.
I want to say it was orange carpet.
Something was like shag.
Very,
I think it was.
80s of
Yeah.
There's a chance it was blue. It's since been changed because my parents didn't want the room with the orange carpet in it.
Shout out to your parents for letting you do that.
Let's hope that next time you make a better decision and go to Empire.
Yes. I bet they have incredible orange carpet. All sorts of good stuff over at Empire, whatever kind of flooring that you need. They are all about flooring, so they know their stuff. If you want to check it out, you can use their app. There's like a VR thing so that you can put any sort of floor you want in your room. You see what it looks like with your furniture. You can schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code DNVR. Yes, you heard that right. A $350 discount with code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday/DNVR for full details.
And shout out to everyone who's tuning in with us. We are 2 weeks away from training camp, and we've still got a lot of people rocking and rolling with us in the middle of the offseason. But this is actually significant news, and the video that PJ put out is the first of a series that he's going to take you through the whole process of the surgery, the recovery, and like I said, it's incredibly well done. Make sure to go to PJ Locke's YouTube channel to watch it. It's really cool. I mean, the behind-the-scenes look is something that I don't think I've ever seen from an athlete before. You are in the doctor's room with him following his first visit to the doctor post-surgery, and you're seeing the vertebrae inside PJ Locke, and the doctor's telling you what went wrong, what went right, and here's some of the details that you learn. So I would encourage everyone to go and watch it. It was really insightful and a cool view into an athlete's life. But so right after the playoff game, he had an MRI. So right after the Buffalo game, mid-January, he had an MRI and was told he needed back surgery, quote, right now. So he went and had back surgery, obviously a serious thing. The L4 and L5 disc were completely degenerated. It was bone on bone, and it was supposed to be a disc. There was supposed to be a disc in between those. He has spondylolisthesis. I think I said that right.
I believe in it.
So not only the disc was gone, but spondylolisthesis, which is where one
Second word
vertebrae.
didn't sound as good.
No.
Spondylolisthesis, which is when one vertebrae is too forward and dislocated from the vertebrae below. They're supposed to line up, and when that shift happens, it's spondylolisthesis. So a couple of things building in on each other. The surgeon, who might be the most jack surgeon I've ever seen, he went in, dug around the nerve completely, and told PJ, you have a unique nerve that is very rare. It's called a conjoined nerve. And because of the split in the nerve, they couldn't do a fusion with the way the nerves were. So instead, they had to, quote, make the nerve happy and do a fusion on the other side, which
a nice move.
Means they put in a cage on the other side of his vertebrae, and the cells inside the cage will become the bone, and screws hold everything together. So so in the middle of the spine, it was all gone, but then the right side, there was more issues, but they couldn't do it on the right side, so they had to go to the left side. So when PJ went into the doctor, he said everything on the right side was hurting before, but now it's the left side. And the doctor says because we had to go in on the other side to do it. And so essentially, maybe this is like to the extent of no one's come back from something like this, because there was one issue and then there was another issue and then something else on top of that. But what really just like showed the extent of this, to me at least, the doctor pulled out the thing that you hit your knee on to like see if you have reflexes. He does it to his left knee. Everything's good. He does it to his right knee, and PJ's like, oh my gosh, it worked. PJ said the last time they did that before the surgery, his knee was just dead. It didn't move like that at all. So that's a really good sign that the surgery worked and that he's recovering. But also it shows you like, this was right after the playoff game. We don't know how long PJ's been playing with this for. And then you kind of look at the moves the Broncos have made after the fact, and it's like, oh, okay. It's not that they didn't like PJ why they went outside Hufanga. They don't even know at this point in free agency if PJ's going to ever play football again.
Insane. Glad the surgery was successful, and hopefully he's feeling better. I have learned a lot about spines in the last 6 months.
Yes.
Because mine was not feeling so great.
Oh, no.
And one of like the main things that the first back doctor I went to said was like, have you had like any trauma that could have compressed your spine? And we were like going all the way back to like my childhood.
Yeah.
And now that we're talking about this in the sense of a football player, I'm like, yeah, every Sunday I just blast my body into other people. And yeah, that probably compresses the spine pretty well. Like,
especially hard-hitting safety.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's insane to think about the trauma that these guys put their bodies through all the time.
Yeah. It's
and
really
it is
scary.
Very permanent. That's what I mean. NFL players, having spent time with an NFL player over the weekend, former NFL player who didn't remember meeting me, even though we met multiple times, because again, NFL player, who I think had his 60th surgery post career. Like that's
6-0?
Yeah, and so you hang out with
goodness.
like all your guys you played with or got drafted with, and just talk about all your most recent surgeries. It's
Insane.
These are the things that happen,
Man.
but you get your millions of dollars. So
Yeah.
it's up to you.
Now it's probably easier for, I mean, the guys back then, probably the guy with the 60th surgery didn't
Yes.
necessarily know and probably wasn't getting millions either. But actually, really quick, the quote that PJ used after his knee actually worked, he said, the last time we did this, that shit was dead.
Wow.
In terms of like just nothing there.
Yeah, when you first quoted him, you said, "Wow, it worked." I was like, "I bet you that's not what he said."
He said that shit was dead last time.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he said it actually excited because it was alive.
Mine aren't great either, actually.
Your reflexes?
Yeah.
It's good you're seeing a doctor then.
Yeah, exactly.
Just give a little kick when he does it.
Just fake it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do.
So I hope we were able to explain the severity and seriousness of this injury.
Yeah.
The good news is PJ was on the side field the entire offseason program. And when he was on the side field, Sean Payton doesn't talk about injuries unless he absolutely has to. The NFL doesn't make coaches talk about injuries until the first week of the regular season when the injury report comes out. Then they have to disclose what's going on. But up until then, Sean has just written everything off. And so PJ's just been on the side field. We haven't been able to get any information from him. Clearly, PJ wanted to put this news out on his own, so he wasn't going to leak it to any reporters. And PJ's wearing pads. He's wearing the helmet. He's running on the side field. He's not hitting, but no one's really hitting right now. But it was like, okay, that's a mental note. PJ's on the side field, not 1 week, not 2 weeks, but the entire offseason program. And now knowing what was going on with him, I actually think that it's a very encouraging sign that he was on the side field the entire time wearing a helmet, putting a little extra stress on his body and his neck and his head by doing that. And Sean Payton has said many times now, everyone except for potentially A.T. Perry is going to be full go by training camp. I talked to PJ over the weekend, and he's in a much better spot. He said this has been the toughest offseason for him and seemingly months mentally for him ever. Physically, also very difficult, but it does seem like he's going to be on track, which is crazy. But when the Broncos had free agency, I imagine they went into free agency saying, we cannot count on PJ Locke at all this year because maybe one person's come back from a surgery like this. We need to transition it and go get another safety. And going and getting Hufanga was a big move, but now it makes even so much more sense.
One question about the guys returning from this surgery. Is it that guys have had it and not come back, or is it just that no one's had it?
So this is exactly from PJ's YouTube. I'll read the whole thing. It says, this surgery was to hopefully allow PJ Locke to return to football as he once was. Optimistically, Dr. Chad Prusmick, his technique would allow PJ to get back on the field better than ever, but there was no guarantee that PJ would return to play football ever again. This is one of the first spinal fusion surgeries done on an NFL player, and depending on how PJ recovers, he could possibly be the first person to return from football from this surgery. So that's according to PJ.
Yeah, but so that answered my question, though. It's just that not a lot of football players have tried to have this. So it might not be that the surgery itself is like a career-ending surgery. It's just a rare condition.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's a lot of guys who have just tried to play through it.
Right.
And not had the surgery.
Right. And then once they have the surgery, they do it at the end of their career or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. To me, going back to the offseason, it all just makes more sense now. Because, I mean, Hufanga, you could justify even if PJ's fine. They had the money to get better. And on defense, there are only a couple spots you could get better. That's at linebacker. Like, you don't need defensive linemen. You don't need edge rushers. You drafted a corner, even though we liked the three corners. And I didn't think they really needed a safety either, but that was one of the rare spots you could upgrade if you weren't going to go offense. The Sam Franklin contract is the one that surprised me the most out of any of them this offseason because it didn't really add up because if I were to build a room, like a safety room or any room really, you have your starters, you've got like a good veteran backup, you've got like a young prospect you're trying to develop, and those two kind of battle for the backup job. And that's what you do with Justin Strnad and Drew Sanders at linebacker. And so to add another veteran who's basically PJ Locke light, like he's same age, that sort of stuff, just
Special teams guy.
exactly has like a third of the defensive snaps, and that's the difference that PJ the past like year and a half has taken like a full-time role. But that's the one where you give, it's actually the first fully guaranteed minimum contract that Sean Payton has given anybody. So like Fabian Moreau didn't get one, Levi Wallace didn't get one, Michael Burton still isn't getting them. And so the fact that they basically said like this guy's going to be on the roster, the math just was weird. But with the doubts about PJ and I guess some doubts about Hufanga too, just because of his history, that's the one that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, it's so true because you had that veteran with PJ, and then you had the talented younger guy with JL Skinner potentially as well. And now it's going to be interesting. Do they just carry 5 safeties if PJ Locke is healthy enough? I hope the best, nothing but the best for PJ. But you do wonder, like, okay, when hitting happens, how does he retire? I mean, I would have to imagine that would be on the table. I hope for PJ's sake it's not. And then you just have now Sam Franklin and JL. It's an interesting dynamic moving forward.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen this before. He's gonna go on the PUP and then probably like be inactive for most of this year, if not all of this year.
That might be a really smart move.
Yeah, it just. With all of this, it just feels like you want to make sure everything takes and everything's healed and everything's good before you go out there and, start getting in car crashes again.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. Well, 100%. Man, I didn't think about the PUP. That makes so much sense to do.
Yeah.
Because as Henry pointed out, now you have his temporary replacement. Sam Franklin's a 1-year deal, right?
Yes.
Man, that makes so much sense. And PJ's young enough where he could take a year off, and obviously it's not taking a year off, but it's avoiding the collisions for a year and then see where he's at.
Yeah.
Could be.
Do you know? I mean, you said Onwuzurike missed the whole season.
I think he did, yes. The surgery was in October.
And so this one for PJ, I don't know, when exactly did the surgery?
Late January, I believe.
So.
I mean, if he's already on the side field and Sean says they think he's full go for practice, because he'll be 28 this year, 29 at the end of the year. So he could, in theory, do that. I mean, you get your money, which is probably the most important part. But I don't know. I mean, the clock is kind of ticking on safeties.
I'll tell you, in terms of in shape, so 4 days before he dropped this YouTube video, I saw him out at Pat Surtain's camp and literally told him, you are looking jacked, because he's looking bigger than ever. And then if you have followed his Instagram, he was playing golf with Justin Simmons over the weekend. He doesn't look like he should be playing golf because he's too ripped. He's huge. So clearly this hasn't slowed him down in terms of a conditioning standpoint.
If you're playing golf, your back's in a good place.
I thought that as well. Yeah.
So maybe I'm overreacting. It just feels so serious to me. That was my initial reaction, but I mean, obviously there's a big difference between golf and hitting on a football game, but both are putting stress on your spine.
I mean, Tiger Woods has dealt with the back all the time because of golf, so I do think that's a really good sign, and it's going to be interesting to see. Does he go on PUP? Is he hitting once the Broncos put pads on 4 days into training camp?
Yeah. Peyton had the fusion up in his neck, which is also the spine, obviously, but a little bit different. I think he must have gotten that because that was the injury that stopped him from playing with the Colts.
Yeah.
So he was out a bit before he played with the Broncos.
For a year, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But I mean,
famously couldn't throw a football to Todd Helton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, famously. Like people in the chat, Mile High Sing, who we love, spine is not something to mess around with. Take a year off. Like that's it. Yes, but also the doctors know way more than we know. And if the doctor says it's fine and it feels fine and that another year doesn't do anything, then you go out there and you play.
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
Yeah, so that's going to be something that we follow probably the very first day that we talk to Sean and George, which is 15 days from now. We'll get an update on that. But typically we don't get news in this off period, these 5 weeks. Typically if we get news, it's either one, a contract, or two, someone got into some trouble. This is kind of the rare third one where a player actually puts this information out. So I believe it's a series. So make sure to follow PJ Locke's YouTube. And when more news comes out, we will be sure to update you. Let's transition and get to the Broncos Commanders preview. And before we do that, we're actually going to give you some things to do in Denver if you come to a Broncos game. So let's do that on the other side after I give a shout out to us and our friends over at True Fan Travel. We're about to give you advice on what to do when you come visit Denver for a Broncos game. How about you also come to us to the Broncos Jets game in London, and you can do that over at truefantravel.com. True Fan Travel has taken all of the hassle, stress, planning out of going overseas, and that's the time when you need it the most. We're here for you when you travel to Denver. True Fan Travel's here for you when you travel to London for the Broncos Jets game. True Fan Travel has it set up where you can just buy one package and it's going to get you flights, hotels, activities, tickets to the game, tickets to a tailgate, hang out with us, and tickets home. Just by one click of the button over at truefantravel.com. Make sure to check out the packages they've got. If you already live over there, they've got hotel packages where you can just take the flights out of it. They've got so many options. And True Fan Travel, you'll get to be with us. I mean, we got events every single day that are included in this. So make sure to go to truefantravel.com, including tickets to Broncos Jets game in London. We hope to see you there. Get your tickets now over at truefantravel.com.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Shady Rays. I was saying last week that, like, this last weekend was maybe the number one Coors Light weekend. Might also be the number one Shady Rays weekend. Just a weekend where you're going to be out in the sun, out on a boat, by the water, in bright places, wanting to look stylish. And Shady Rays can fix all of those problems for you. And what's best is if you combined Coors Light and your Shady Rays, maybe a little too much Coors Light, and lost your Shady Rays, well, they don't want you to be walking out there squinting for the rest of your life. No, they're just going to send you a brand new pair free of charge, whether you lost it, you broke it, maybe you like stepped on them or something. Yes. They don't even care. They're not even going to ask you what you did or how it broke. You don't have to come up with like an excuse as to why you're returning them. They're just going to send you a brand new pair, which is a pretty awesome deal. So if you want a pair of Shady Rays and you want that amazing customer service, head over to shadyrays.com and use the code DNVR for 35% off polarized sunglasses. That's shadyrays.com and use code DNVR for 35% off.
And make sure to give us a thumbs up. Also, make sure to stay tuned to the Buff Show this week. You guys are going to be out in Las Vegas, Texas. Dallas.
Frisco, Texas.
The Nuggets are going to be out. The Nuggets guys are going to be out in Las Vegas for Summer League. And make sure to stay tuned to the Rockies show. That's why I'm repping the Rockies today. They've got All-Star on their show today, right after this show ends. It's Goodman. It's Hunter Goodman.
There we go. Yeah.
Yep. So make sure to stay tuned to the show just right after ours and hit us with a thumbs up. We appreciate it. Speaking of all the Denver teams, some people have reached out over the past month or so and said, hey, I'm coming to a game in Denver this year. I'm from out of town. What should I do in Denver? Can you kind of give me an itinerary, things to do, ideas? And they wanted all of us to give them some ideas. So let's do it.
Okay.
Ryan, someone comes in town. Let's say it's a long weekend. What do they have to do in Denver?
Well, first of all, I always feel like this is a weird question. It's just there's not, like, no matter where you go, there's not that many like crazy things to do. You just do the normal stuff that you normally do. You go eat, you walk around.
So where should they walk around? Where should they eat?
Well, I'm getting there. I always feel like I need more to answer these questions. And then the more I think about it, I'm like, when I go to places, it's not like I'm like, oh, I need to go to like a museum or something. Like I just go and just like live life in a new place for a few days.
So that's fair. So when I think of a trip, I sometimes want to do the touristy things, but then I also want to make sure that I get like the local gems. And it's probably not going to be a museum. There's probably not a local gem museum. So it's more so like
the food.
Yeah, the food.
Yeah.
So like they
or like the places to drink.
Right, exactly. Not just a big box bar downtown, where a cool place where you guys would go. So what are some good food spots that you won't necessarily find on a quick like best restaurants in Denver?
DNVR bar.
It's where you'll find Henry.
That is true.
I'm going to stray away from the company line here.
Oh no.
My favorite restaurant in Denver is hands down Uncle. It probably would show up on a best restaurants in Denver search.
It would.
But that's because it is the best restaurant in Denver.
That's also one that locals will tell you, like, just like you said, they love too.
It's one of the few places where I've never left and been like, damn, they didn't bring it. Didn't have their A game tonight.
Huh.
They always have their A game.
It's the first place where I've had ramen and been like, oh my gosh, this is mind blowing.
Yeah, my only problem with it is that I don't eat ramen anywhere else anymore. Like,
So if you
there's
want
a
to
0% chance of it living up.
If you want to ruin ramen for everywhere else, go to Uncle.
I've only ever had top ramen.
Yeah, that's a
I've
big
never
difference.
had ramen somewhere. Like
There's
go
just
out
like
for
way
ramen.
too many people that work at this company that have never had Uncle.
So are you going to Highlines location? Probably if you're from out of town.
No, I'll go
Wash
to the
Park
West
one?
Wash Park
Okay.
location because it's bigger. It's easier to get into.
That's true. So that's a really good place. Henry, where are you going? Are you
Illegal
going to
Pete's.
Yeah.
Yes. When we eat out, it's basically that.
I'm going to Illegal Pete's literally the second this show ends.
Really?
That's a really good move.
Yes.
I agree. You got to go to Illegal Pete's,
Yes.
and there's tons of locations, and they're pretty much all in great spots in terms of like going
Yes.
out, getting a drink after.
This is a good question here. What steakhouse is better, Elway's or Shanahan's? Especially if you're coming in for a Broncos game, you want to have a nice steak dinner. You would probably want to go to Elway's or Shanahan's.
I don't know. I haven't been.
I've only been to Elway's.
I've been to the airport Elways.
I've been to both. I think that I like the steaks better at Elway's.
Okay. And you like the seasoning
The
too.
seasoning is unmatched. But I kind of like the vibes and the other options better at Shanahan's.
There's only one Shanahan's, right?
The one in DTC.
DTC.
Yeah, that's the only one I know of.
If you're staying in downtown, though, it's probably not worth it to venture out. I've never been to Shanahan's, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. But they have like a sick patio and like
Okay.
I've never been to the downtown Elway's.
I've only seen it.
It's in the hotel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the hotel. The one in Cherry Creek is no longer there because they're tearing it down.
But like,
So you probably go to Elway's. If it's better steaks, then it's just
Yeah.
right there.
I guess that is like a cool thing if you're coming in. You know, you're gonna go to the like that, which is probably one of the reasons why they did that. I don't like going to steakhouses when I go to other places.
Because it's kind of generic.
It's just like it's gonna be a steakhouse. Like,
Right. You know what you're getting.
The only one that I would say is like so different than every other one where I'm like I have to go there when I'm there is St. Elmo's. I think St. Elmo's is legitimately a cut above the rest when it comes to steakhouses. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And I
Oh, I see.
I'll drop everything to go there. If I'm like I'm going to Dallas the next 2 days. It's actually like a pretty famous steakhouse city. Won't be going to one.
The other thing is that it's not like there's a lot of options in Indianapolis.
That's
So
true.
like compared to the competition,
There's two.
it's a lot easier.
There's two options.
Exactly.
All right. What's your restaurant nominee here?
I'm going My Brother's Bar. So it's called My Brother's Bar. I'm not actually promoting my own brother's bar here. Just a great burger. It's the bar with the longest continuous liquor license. And I also just love the area, the REI that's right next to it. Used to be
Yeah.
the former train station in Denver. Even if you're not going to buy something
You
from
ever taken
REI.
that little train?
Oh, yeah. The tiny one right there.
But
And
where does
actually,
it go?
down there.
Just like
Like-
down the street?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
pretty much.
So I've been
It's more
confused.
so for kids.
I think you can.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
there's like a longer one. I think
Is
there's
there?
one that can go like up pretty close
Well,
to the
there
stadium.
used to be
Okay.
like the whole trolley that went down like Colfax.
Yeah, which
And
I
then-
think they're
Are they
bringing back.
Yeah.
Well, they're replacing it with a bus, but
Okay.
I think they have to like tear up all the old trolley tracks that they just paved over.
Yeah, it's not. It looks like a real process.
Would have been cool just to have a trolley this entire time instead of
that would have been cool.
Yes.
A trolley down Colfax would have been cool.
yeah. I'm not a fan of our public transportation.
By the way,
Oh, it's
one thing I love about
That's terrible.
my
The
brother's
train
bar,
is
they bring out like the little like cart
Yep.
with all the things you could put on your burger. So you just dress your own burger there.
Yep.
is fire.
It's a cool, different vibe, and it works well. I mean, you could go to My Brother's Bar one night, You go to Illegal Pete's for lunch the next day, and you can go to Uncle for dinner. And it's not like you're going to 3 steakhouses in a row. You get a flavor of Denver. So that's also an area I would recommend. It is the Confluence Park area, I believe is what it's called. Really just
down on the river.
Yep, centered around REI right there, the downtown REI. Union Station, they've redone that in the past 10 years or something, and it's a very poppin' place if you're going to hang out downtown. That's probably a good spot to center yourself. A lot of good parks too in the city of actual Denver. Wash Park, little more suburban, but it's still in Denver. You have Cheeseman Park, which is close to downtown. City Park,
that's
which
where
is
they have all
right
the bodies
by here. Yeah, underneath.
Yeah.
What?
If you come to a Halloween game, it used to be a cemetery. Then they wanted to turn it into a park, and the guy was kind of like a scam type guy, and so he was.
This is Cheeseman?
Yeah. So it's like, they paid him by the body, and they knew there were however many bodies, so he just wound up cutting the bones in half or whatever.
Oh my
saying
God,
we
bro.
got all the bodies,
Yeah.
but then there's a whole bunch left. So occasionally, like a dog will find a bone.
Don't like that.
But it's a cool part. That's just
You
one
really
of the many
sold
cool
everyone
things.
on
Honestly,
it.
if you're coming to Denver,
is
you're
cool.
going to a park, you're going to Wash Park.
Okay, yeah.
So
I
far
mean, it's my
south,
favorite.
though.
It's my
It
favorite.
is,
park.
but it's
Like I would go.
an impressive park, like compared to other parks.
Okay.
yeah.
Cheeseman Park's impressive. It has like the big thing.
Doesn't impress me.
City Park has the zoo and the museum.
That's true.
I would say
And the
our
golf
can't
course.
miss.
Oh, I was gonna say. So, question for both of you: someone's wanting to play golf when they're here, like the Saturday before the Sunday game. Where are they going?
Fossil Trace.
That's a great answer. I mean, it's a little out of town, probably like a 25-ish minute drive from downtown, which I guess if you're going golfing, it really isn't much. But that's like a course that you would say like you couldn't experience anything like it anywhere else.
Yes.
It was literally built on a plate. When they were building it, they found fossils. That's
Yes.
there's fossils all around that
Love
area.
fossils.
Similar to Cheeseman Park in that way, just older
Yes.
animals that
Yes.
died. So that one's pretty cool, but like it has some features on there that you just won't see anywhere else. Yeah, very very unique golf course, and definitely gives you like almost the vibe that you're playing mountain golf without actually having to go up into the mountains, which is pretty
Very
nice
true.
there in Golden. And then you could go explore Golden, which is actually a really cool town as well.
Yeah. And then you're only about 10 minutes away at that point to Red Rocks. And really quick on Red Rocks, if you can see a concert, that's awesome. But the cool thing about Red Rocks is they are open from any time in the morning until just a couple of hours before a concert, and it's free. You can go, you can sit in the venue, you can explore it. A lot of people work out around there. So even if you're not going to go to a concert, definitely worth it to go.
This is a hard thing to pull off to actually get a tee time here, but if you wanted to play golf in the city, I would recommend City Park. It has the best view of the city in the city.
Yes.
And so
It's
even
so
if you
cool.
can't play golf there, if you want to just go have like a sunset cocktail, the patio at City Park Golf Course is elite, which is where I was yesterday.
No, there
Have you
go.
been to the new Casa Bonita?
I have not.
I have.
Is it as good as it sounds?
I don't.
Reviews, see, I feel like it's not, it hasn't been sounding good.
Yeah.
I
When I look
wouldn't-
on Reddit, everybody loves it.
I would not go.
It's also the Casa Bonita Reddit, so.
Yeah, if I'm here for 2 dinners or 2 nights, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
If you live here, it's for you. It's worth it to go.
Oh yeah, I
Get a
still haven't
reservation.
gone. I'm like part of the Founders Club or whatever from when they restarted it, but I still haven't done it.
Did you donate to be part of the Founders Club?
No, you just gotta sign the list. Give them
He's
your
on an
email.
email list.
You just have to be one of like the first people to sign their email list when they said they're coming back.
I haven't been since I was like 18, I don't think.
They did a good job redoing it. The food is fine, though. It's not bad. It used to be known for being horrible food. It's fine now. It's not amazing, but it's good.
Speaking of, I just want to throw this out there. There's a lot of good places to get green chili around Denver. My go-to is La Loma. It's kind of the OG. Now it's kind of like, it's gotten really big. Which, changes things with places. In this case specifically, more expensive. Probably more than you would expect to spend on a Mexican food dinner. Kind of worth it. Kind of
Still,
worth it.
okay.
Yeah. If I'm like craving Mexican food, like, as close to authentic as you can get here, that's where I'm going. And I'm just biting the bullet and just saying like, this is going to be over $100 for 2 people.
I'm adding it to my list. I've never been, and I
Really?
have to. Yeah. You stay true to yourself. Green chili. My final recommendation: ice cream. Little Man, if you're downtown. Bonnie Bray, if you're kind of by the Wash Park area. And then there's a bunch of sweet cows around town as well. Those 3, you're gonna leave happy.
Yep.
I can never keep the Bonnie Bray, Bonnie Blue thing straight.
Oh my God.
Wow. Well, one is for kids, and the
whenever-
other is for 18 plus.
Yeah, because every time I drive past the Bonnie Bray thing, I'm like, wait, does she
That is
own all
insane.
these?
That is so
Is
insane.
she
Like,
inside the panda
did she
suit that's
name
inside?
herself?
Or
Yeah.
the
my
bear
God,
suit?
bro.
So then
I've never
can't-
had Bonnie Bray ice cream, by
Yeah.
the way.
Wow. I love it. I love it.
I have had Little Man. It's good. Not worth the line. Absurd line.
Bonnie Bray has an insert line. Bonnie Bray has actually both do.
I actually just remembered I have had Bonnie Bray ice cream.
Also,
It was good.
Meow Wolf. I'm a Meow Wolf supporter.
So,
Oh.
Especially if you're, again, what we call the enhancers.
yes.
Yeah. If you're into that sort of thing, it is Colorado.
Last time I went to Casa Bonita, partook in some enhancers.
Huh. When was
Wait, I
oh
thought
yeah,
you said you
did
were
go.
When I was
young.
18.
Oh, 18. Yeah, smart.
Yeah, couldn't even order my food. It was a problem.
Well, it might have been a good thing because that was before the renovation and the food was really bad.
It's true.
Yeah.
A lot of sopapillas that night. But Meow Wolf is only in 4 places.
Yeah.
So if you're in Denver, it's kind of cool. Yeah, I believe it's Denver. Might be 3. Denver, New Mexico, and Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't remember if there actually is a 4th one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a cool thing that you can only hit in a few different places.
Yeah. Okay. Logan, you got one?
Wow.
Grapevine.
Okay. Logan says there might be one by Grapevine, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that
maybe
makes
that's
sense.
your 4th right there. All right, I hope that helps you plan your trip. And of course, we'll be having tailgates, which you'll have to go to before a game. And sometimes we even do the bus. Actually, we do the bus down to the tailgate too from the bar. So that's a great way to spend your Sunday. But hope that helps with your Saturday, Friday, and maybe even Monday too.
Also, if you're coming here, I get a lot of DMs about this. If you're coming here and you have a specific request, like I really want this type of food, reach out to me with that. It's sometimes hard to respond to like, I'm coming to Denver, what should I do?
Yeah.
Like 50 times throughout a season.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, I'm coming to Denver and I really want Chinese food, like for some reason I'm just craving it, or I'm in Denver and I really want Chinese food, like that, I'll respond to that quickly.
I've got a notes app with like advice to people that want to come to Denver, and it's open ended.
This is just Zach being more organized than me.
Best breakfast spot is Sam's. Somebody asked.
I really like Pete's Kitchen just down the street from here.
I have once. It's fine.
It's the same brand of thing as
Yeah.
Sam's. I think it's better, but
I had a breakfast crunch wrap, not actually from Taco Bell, but from a restaurant. Oh, it was so good.
dang, that sounds fire. What was it called?
It was, oh, you've probably been there, Mr. Oso.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. Okay, so let's get back to football here, and let's break down the Broncos Commanders game, week 13. Guys, the Broncos are coming off their bye week for this game. Sunday night football. Bo Nix, Jayden Daniels in not our nation's capital because it's actually in a suburb, not in Washington, D.C. And Henry, we all know what the Commanders were like last year, which was a really good, surprising team. How much have they changed since last year?
Well, they replaced Jonathan Allen with Javon Kinlaw. They lose Dammy Brown, they lose Jeremy Chin, they lose Dante Fowler. All like pretty mid players, like starters, but mid. Also
Jeremy
add though,
Chin's better than mid, I think.
is he? I think
think-
he took a nice step up to. He belongs as a starter in the NFL.
Okay.
But there's still like the hype, like potential. Laramie Tunsil is there. Obviously a big piece. Add Will Harris, Jonathan Jones, draft Josh Connolly Jr. So you'd think the offensive line is better. But I would say not huge changes from last year, which makes sense. To me, the big question is just like, how do you defend that offense? Because you just have to make a whole bunch of weird decisions.
Where's Terry McLaurin in this? Obviously, he's still on the team, but I never thought Terry McLaurin could get pissed because he's like a great leader, great teammate. And now, the more that comes out, he is really upset about his contract situation. You imagine they get it done.
What is his contract situation?
He wants a big raise, and I think he wants to be around that maybe Jamar Chase, $40 million a year.
He's going into his last year. And
Okay.
he was getting $23 million a year.
Oh, so he had a second deal already.
Yes.
So this is his
Third deal.
3
And now
years,
he wants
68 point
30
something.
plus.
35, maybe even 40. Oh. Yeah.
I mean, if you're giving that to him,
He's your captain. He's your
yeah,
best receiver.
he's fine.
So so then I've also
It's a
heard
great time for him though, because like you can't not have him.
right with Jayden, what he just
Yeah,
did,
like,
the chemistry
exactly.
he's got. There's been rumors of Terry McLaurin for Brandon Ayuk. A trade like that, because Ayuk, even after getting a deal last year, he already seems pissed at the 49ers. Ayuk played with Jayden Daniels at Arizona State, their boys, and then I
So
guess
he wasn't the one that posted the picture of him cleaning out his locker and said like,
I can't
this
imagine.
dude was mid anyway.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think that would be it. But that's just one to keep in mind. I would imagine the Commanders aren't going to blow this one, and they'll have him by then. But that's just an interesting one to follow. But you're right about the offense, Henry. I mean, if Jayden Daniels takes that next step, just like we think Bo Nix will take the next step, I have to imagine Commanders fans are thinking that Jayden Daniels, rightfully so, is going to take that next step. You have maybe a top 5 quarterback now with an improved offensive line, with Terry McLaurin. They still have Austin Eckler. Their run game, I think, was fine last year. Not great, but not bad. Man, it's a good offense.
I mean, I think even if he doesn't take a step, you might have a top 5 quarterback. Like, I mean, he was ridiculous last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fair.
He has as good a claim to that spot. I mean, we were talking about last week as anybody. But again, like, I just don't know how you defend them. Like, do you just sell out to stop the run? You load the box and say, like, we're just going to man up behind, but make sure we've got rushers coming? I feel like that's probably the answer. But
Especially if you're the Broncos.
exactly.
It's easier to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's tough with these types of quarterbacks. We saw it against Lamar Jackson last year.
Yeah.
He's not quite Lamar Jackson yet, but the dual threat, like, it makes things really hard. You got to make sure that you're really convicted in your game plan and you stay in your lanes and you don't get frustrated that you aren't getting there because you're trying to keep him contained. And that's what makes him good. That's a big challenge.
They added Debo, too. I didn't have Debo on that.
They
Yes.
did.
There we go.
And rumors on if he's bigger in a good way or a bad way. I've seen both out there.
Yeah, I mean
yeah.
the route that they showed him running in like minicamp or whatever was not, didn't look good. But then recently, like, he dropped like a workout video of himself.
Where he looks ripped.
Who knows? Maybe he was playing at 1.5x speed.
Yeah,
I mean, we were talking about that when we were asking whether the Broncos should go get Debo.
yeah.
And that was my answer, is like, he's slow now. He used to be fast. Now he's not fast. So what's even really the point? Like, you might as well play him at running back.
Yeah, and they might be forced to do that. Speaking of Jayden,
Is Debo actually making more than Scary Terry?
I doubt it.
he might be at. You said I think he's right around that $20 million mark.
He got 17 million.
17. Okay.
So not
Yeah.
even close. That's still a lot of money to be paying to wide receivers. That Debo thing better work out.
Well,
Yeah.
because when they signed it, he was like, "Well, I play running back and wide receiver for you, so you got to kind of pay me for both." Would you guys take this scenario before we dive into where the Broncos win in battles and where the Commanders win? If I offered you right now in this game, Jayden Daniels, you sack him 0 times, but he also has 0 rushing yards. Would you sign up for that right now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
0 rushing yards, but 0 sacks. So you just play like full contain.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
assuming it was like there was pressure all day. He didn't escape it and was forced to throw. And it's not like he's a quarterback where it's like, oh yeah, just force him to throw and you're fine. Like, no, he can still dice you through the air.
Yeah.
But if you're able to make him one dimensional, I think you give yourself a lot better chance.
So he had, he did run a lot in the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, probably. Sure. Yeah. I don't have a good answer for it. Yeah. And then, like, I guess we can talk about their defense when we get there, but that's another one where I just don't know how do you go about, like, they're so built out in that front 7. I don't know how you attack that secondary either. Because like it's still Marshawn Lattimore you'd think is good. They bring in Jonathan Jones, Mike Sanders still there. Like that defense is almost as tough to game plan for as the offense, I think.
Wow.
So like I don't know how you attack that.
Well, let's dive into it and let's see the specifics of this team. And we'll start with the quarterback position. Man, I love that this is prime time because it's Bo, because it's Jayden. It's later in the year. We'll have a better idea on if these two have both taken steps, if only one of them's taken a step, and where this stands. So this could change by the time this game comes around.
This game could be like the moving moment.
And it could be who's the fifth best quarterback in the NFL.
It's possible.
You hope so.
Which we've been talking a lot about that being up for grabs, but like I think Jalen Hurts has it.
I don't.
I give it to Hurts. Yep.
Anyways,
That guy sucks.
So, wow, that's insane. For this one, I love Bo Nix. I've defended him over Justin Herbert. I've picked him over many other guys. Jayden, though,
he had a better rookie season.
Yeah,
Jayden's the better passer. Jayden's the better runner. To me, it's easy.
All right, we're going. They get the quarterback spot. Running back. So they've got Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
And
Brian Robinson.
And Debo.
And Debo.
And Jayden.
I mean, you'd think it's got to be the Commanders. I guess here's a weird one. RJ Harvey or Austin Eckler is like the Joker.
RJ, for me, but I understand if you go Eckler.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, do you want them for their career
Exactly.
from here on out? It's obviously RJ. Do you want them for one game at this stage in their careers? You would probably take Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're doing right now. Like, who would you rather have
in this game?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it helps the Broncos that it's later in the season, so you can say like, yeah, you'd hope that RJ is better then than he is at the beginning. But I think you still have to go with Eckler. Like he's done that at a playoff level.
Is that where you're going?
I think so, yeah.
And then if it's Robinson versus Dobbins, I don't know. I like Brian Robinson, but his numbers aren't any good.
I think it's close. It's neither room moves you.
Yes.
Until we see what the Broncos have in RJ.
So then are you guys going the Commanders?
Yeah, I think we'll give them the running back room.
Wide receiver. Is this going to be the first time that a team has had more than 2 ticks against the Broncos now?
Well, the Chiefs got it.
Oh, that's true because they got the coach.
But they're going 3 for 3 here.
Yeah, I have to go receiver here with Scary Terry. Tight end, though?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is their tight end
Old Zach
now?
Ertz.
Yeah.
He's back. Or
And he put
was
up
always
numbers
there. Yeah,
last
he
year.
was there last year.
Yeah.
Gosh. He's like, yeah, he's good. I would go Ingram because I think he just brings a lot more juice. But if you guys go Ertz, I understand.
What did Ertz have?
655 yards, 7 touchdowns last year.
7 touchdowns is good. We all think that Ingram's going to do
I'll
more
go
than that this year.
Ingram.
I'll go
Yeah.
Ingram too, just because Ertz is a year older.
Exactly.
Eventually, feels like Father Time's going to win that battle. He's
Yeah.
got to be 34, 35 at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe 35 this year. Offensive line. Henry, I'm glad we do the additions and subtractions because I totally forgot that the Commanders got the
Laramie Tunsil.
Yes.
That's wow. You were gonna say the face mask guy.
Yeah, exactly.
The gas mask.
Yeah, the good gas
That's
mask left
crazy.
tackle.
So
Because
that gives us
he
the
is
bong head
good.
coach, right?
I guess it does if Commanders are talking about it this game like that. So I do like that move for them a lot, but especially to protect Jayden Daniels. But I'm going Broncos O-line here.
Yep.
There it is.
Now, Henry, take us through this Commanders defense.
With
With run defense,
yes.
pass rush, coverage.
So I mean, it's still Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu, who are awesome. In front of them, you've got Dorrance Armstrong, Deron Payne, Javon Kinlaw, Dietrich Wise.
Where did they rank in run defense last year?
Sure.
And that was obviously with Jonathan Allen
who's still good.
instead
Yeah.
of
Really
Javon
good.
Kinlaw,
Yeah.
which is probably a run defense upgrade.
Potentially.
Well, a downgrade to Kinlaw.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were 30th in run defense.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. With Dan Quinn, too, a defensive head coach.
what were they doing?
That is, I guess
wonder
that's
if it
why they got
changed
rid
throughout
of.
the year,
Well, I
though.
think I actually think that
They had
Jonathan
to-
Allen was hurt a lot of last year, and that's why they moved on from him.
They also had to play Saquon Barkley in the Eagles twice.
It's true. Give
Held
up.
them to 93 yards in one of them. Held the Eagles to 93 yards.
I think Saquon got 93 yards on the first carry of the game in the NFC
Yeah.
Championship.
Yeah.
Not really that much, but I think 75.
There's nothing else that can be said for me in terms of the run defense now. It's definitely the
Yeah,
Broncos.
it's definitely
Okay.
Broncos.
Pass rush, Broncos as well. Although don't sleep on especially that interior pass rush that the Commanders could get. And then coverage. Another move that they made was getting Marshawn Lattimore. It's a good move, good corner, but come on, Champ over
Yeah.
Marshawn, or the guy that looks like Champ, Pat Surtain over Marshawn all day long. So Broncos again sweep on defense, and
It's definitely Sean Payton. as
Sean
coach.
Payton over at head coach.
Sure.
All right. That's going to do it for us today. We got more coming this week. Make sure to stay tuned tomorrow where we have another preview and another fun conversation. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow on DNVR Broncos podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.